gift this old-style magic wand to Evgeny Lamiza. And now the product presentations begin.
Okay. First of all presentations will be available for you. So don't worry, you don't have to take pictures from the screen. You will be able to download everything. Okay, so I'll start with what Andrew has finished, because that's our credo in advertising technologies. What we are doing generally is building a consistent communication with people in every media and on every level of the funnel, which means that we have to overcome data fragmentation because, well, even different browsers can belong to the same person, and not necessarily this is known to everybody. But then a person has several devices, and then the person is watching TV and walking outdoor and going to shops. And this is the most challenging part of it, and we really feel that we can overcome the fragmentation between offline and online now. Cross-product, cross-device, and cross-media targeting and measurements, because without proper measurements, we can do nothing. We can sell nothing in contemporary advertising world. And then text, graphic, and video formats, CPC and CPM models, and all in one interface, which used to be Yandex.Direct. Well, it's a long, long way to go. Overcoming fragmentation is something we're doing gradually. We have real achievements there, but it's the way. It's not something you can say, well, I'm there. It's a way. And doing products and uniting everything in one interface is extremely difficult. We have dedicated team of people developing new interface of Yandex.Direct under the philosophy of this unification of all channels, communication, all media, and all levels of funnel in one interface. We understand that if we start doing it like, well, we want to launch new interface, here it is, that will mean that we shall have to stop development of Yandex.Direct for considerably long period of time, just working on new interface, which we cannot afford. So we shall keep launching new interface page by page, replacing some old pages with new ones. And hopefully by the end of the year, you will already see some new pages launched. Okay, but since this is a long way to go, what are our priorities for 2017 specifically? We identified main points of growth for our products where we can earn a lot of money, because there are always huge amount of tasks. You can improve interface here, you can add these instrument there, and all of them are quite sensible suggestions. Why not to do this? But we have to focus on points where we can really give a lot of extra value to our clients, well, and money for ourselves. So let's talk first of all about performance advertising, which is our main product traditionally. And here, the main concept is that growing budgets of our clients is just equivalent to growing number of conversions multiplied by true bids. True bids is a religion behind our VCG auction. Actually, there are theorems and models and mathematics proving that second price auction is tendent to balance on the minimum price. And we saw it. More and more clients were tended to bid for the last position in the block. It really worked here, this theorem. And then VCG auction is tended to balance on the maximum possible bid which client can pay without becoming margin negative. Of course, this is something like ideal world. Not all the clients know their business good enough to be able to tell at what bid they will become negative with this exact keyword. But generally, again, this thing works, because after we changed from second price to VCG, the number of bidding for the last position started decreasing, and the people bidding for the first position increasing. So what does that mean? We have to grow the number of conversions, and we have to improve the value our clients get from our advertising so that they can increase the bids. That's how it works. So, and under this general concept, here are 4 points of growth. First of all, new products, I mean new efficient products, working good for clients. Yandex.Direct is perceived mainly as search and, well, if we are talking about advertising network, post-search advertising, which means that the user already knows what he wants, he requests it. He indicates his already formulated interests in search requests or in visiting specific pages on webs. And that's only one part of the life. There are another very strong pool of performance advertising method related to retargeting. This is not something new. The message is that we have it in Yandex.Direct, and one of our great priorities is developing it. Because these instruments in Yandex.Direct at the moment are underused because it's perceived as search. Then, second, quite obvious, we have inventory, we can intensify usage of it. In two major ways, algorithms and formats of advertising. Expanding inventory, yes, that's an important point. Our search audience will never grow as it used to grow. The internet penetration in Russia is close to its maximum, and search is used as it is used. So no extensive growth will be available with search. If we want to grow, if you want to get more clicks, more conversions, you will have to focus on the growing segments, which is ad network. In ad network, we can buy more and more publishers and grow extensively, even if penetration rate is not growing. It's mobile inventory, it's video inventory, which is growing fast in Russia, and totally new channels. I'll talk about that. And then, once more, going for new segments. Our performance had nothing to offer, practically nothing, to Fmcg Retail, for example, because no one is searching for Coca-Cola in Yandex Search. It's nonsense. But now we can offer them performance products. Well, it's CPI, cost per install products for mobile, and some other things like just regional extension. If we find new clients in new regions, it's new section for segment of clients for us, and new money, incremental. Okay, let's start. Retargeting. Our main retargeting product, which we started a year ago, is Yandex Audiences, which is the instrument permitting our clients to develop customized segments for their advertising using standard instrument of Yandex Metrica or importing, downloading data from their CRMs and even creating segments based on geoposition, precise geoposition of the users, actual or regular. Actual is where I am now in Berlin. Regular is my home address and work address in Moscow. So we didn't expect that, but geo-based segments became the most popular kind of segments in our audiences, because this is the trend, combining offline to online. So, how does it work? On search, whatever segment you do, keyword is king on search always. So you cannot retarget people on search irrelevant to whatever they request there. So you can use your segments, retargeting segments, for bidding coefficients, bidding more valuable audience with higher bids, and so on and so forth. Or you can also develop various text, various ways of communicating them for various segments of your audience. If it's your loyal client, you say him one thing. If it's new client, you say the other thing in the text of your ad. In ad networks, you can just do retargeting, or you can do bid adjustment the same way as you do on search. It depends upon you. And then the important thing is offline to offline retargeting. When you develop the segment of your clients, because they're like within 500 meters around your shop or business, and you can target them on the internet. Here is the example. Our client Wildberries had this quite great result by just correcting bids on search. They were advertising the commodities for pregnant ladies, so they made plus 100% bids for the ladies from 18 to 35, and then they made a minus 50% for ladies above 35 and gentlemen. They were not losing these segments of audience, which are not likely. Well, gentlemen are not decision makers, and ladies over 35 are less frequently become pregnant. But then they cover everything, and they pay the value for every client, whatever they want. The result is striking. Here is our beloved client. At the moment, they're making 50% of their budget through retargeting instrument, and they have enlarged their budget spent with Yandex 2 times after they started using retargeting instruments. So the money they brought in our system through retargeting are 100% incremental, and they are 100% within their KPIs performance-wise. You will have more detailed presentation from the person from Ozon later on today. You're welcome to listen to it. It's really complicated work they did. They had strong IT team. They did a lot of machine learning on their own part, segmenting audience, doing everything. It's genius work. Okay, then let's come to intensifying usage of inventory on algorithmic level. First of all, in the middle, behavioral factors on exact match, which means when user request has exactly the same words as the keyword you put, but not necessarily in the same morphological form, because that's what exact match is in Yandex. We already launched it about a month ago, which gave us plus 1.5% of clicks and conversions. It's not tremendous success, but it is a success. You have to add percent and percent here, percent there, and then you come to something. And it's easy thing. Actually, not that easy. That means that our thresholds for entering, for example, premium position, they were precise before that because they were independent on what user came. And now, click probability varies greatly upon what is the user who made this request, what request he made before, and so on and so forth. We know a lot of him. And if the click probability is different, that means that to overcome this CPM threshold to enter the position, the block, you have to pay different price depending upon what user is there. Which means that at the moment, our signals of what you have to pay to enter the premium positions are approximate. they are not as precise as they used to be a month ago. This is not something bad, I think, because to tell you the truth, they were not exact nowhere. Because, well, they were exact for the second you made your request for prices. And if you remake these requests, they may change because we have hundreds of thousands of clients. And during the day, they are bidding, and there are robots bidding, even more frequent than users do. So it was exact figure for exact moment of time, and time is running. So now it's not even exact for this moment of time, but on the average level, it shows you what is most likely position you will get. That's how it works now. Now, enhanced CPC. This is very important too, and we're experimenting with it, and it's a delicate matter because what we're going to offer is that if you agree to it, we shall bid higher than your actual bid is if we predict that the conversion probability behind this click is very high. So it's opt-in, obviously, instrument. If you agree to play this game, we shall play this game, and a large number of conversions, for sure. At the moment, we're experimenting with it. We're sure that this is going to work. Just we're tuning up our formulas to make it work smoothly. Then the third one, auto-targeting. Auto-targeting is the usage of search technologies for advertising. The way it's going to work is that you don't have to think about keywords at all. You write the text of ad, you give the link to landing page, we figure out to which user requests your ad is relevant. So you give the bid for the ad, we adjust it according to the conversion probability with various requests of various users, and that's how it works. At the moment, this technology already works. It works for additional relevant phrases because it's better than our traditional additional phrases, which we were just adding as phrases. It improves the quality of additional extension. But at the moment, it's worse than regularly manually done campaigns in our interface. So we cannot launch it as separate product as automatization to make it easier to start campaign. Just write your ads and it's working. But we can already suggest it as extension. When we reach the level that is better than average campaign made manually through interface, we shall launch it as separate product automatization. Formats. Ad formats is very important thing. In terms of getting extra percentage of conversions, it works faster and for us cheaper in development than algorithmic development. Which doesn't mean that it's easy. We have the whole, say, factory trying and retrying all kinds of changes in the way our ad looks and finding the most efficient ways. We have tens of experiments monthly trying things. And when we launch something, we're sure that it really works. So just follow the news. If you find any news about any new element in the outlook of our ads, some new field in the ads or some new size of the picture, add it immediately because you will be first to use it. And when everybody uses it, it's not that fun. The number of conversions is limited to the possibility of buying things by our users. We cannot improve that. So when everybody uses something, the number of conversions doesn't grow in the country. It may grow in our segment. Well, we're not 100% of performance advertising in Russia, but generally there are limits. The best of it you get when you are first to use it. Now some of the points here. Lead ads. That's something well known to you probably by Facebook. when they generate landing pages on their own side, and they pre-fill fields when it's lead type of landing page with the personal information they know because they're Facebook and they know personal information. We're not Facebook, and yeah, it's known that these things increases many times the conversion in leads and also in purchases. So it's a very efficient way of communicating with user, these pre-filled forms. We cannot pre-fill 100% of forms, but we can pre-fill about 30% of forms because we have accounts of these clients and we can do this, these users. So it will considerably improve the performance of our advertising. We're working on it. Graphic banners of search. We have them to the right of organic search results. At the moment, they are overpriced CPM product. We want to make it an integral part of Yandex.Direct, CPC-based, with threshold for CPM threshold, how to get it. You will have to bid for it specifically, because at the moment you have your premium position and you have very cheap bids for bottom of the page. So definitely you will not want to lose your premium position. You will have to bid from something which is in the bottom to put it in the position to the right. It works good for the clients. The main problem we have here is to find the balance between the interest of our users, because too aggressive coverage of our search engine result pages with banners is annoying. So we have to find what coverage is optimal, money and user happiness-wise. And that's where we are with this product right now. Well, then gallery format, well, you understand what is it. Action buttons, very important, especially for smartphones. All sorts of things like recommended shop, prices, which you can add through API without, oh shit, what happened? Yeah. All these additional fields. So please follow the news and see. We're experimenting with it. They're about to be launched pretty soon. What's going on? Ad network. As I said, for expanding inventory, ad network is the key thing. And the key challenge here is traffic quality. Everybody knows that ad network is less convertible than search. And because of that, many of our clients are switching it off totally. And telling that this is the wrong way to do things is nothing. So what we're doing now, we do bid adjustment. It already works. Just few people understand that it works and how it works. Actually, we take your bids and we decrease them per every publisher according to predicted conversion rate with this publisher. So if your conversion rate with search is 1, then coefficient we use with one publisher will be 0.8, and with the other 0.5, and with the worst publisher 0.3, for example. But we shall try to keep your CPA equal to what you have on search. The result of launching this system, this algorithm, is plus 5% of conversion overall through all clients of Yandex.Direct with the same budgets. So they did not spend more, but they've got plus 5% of conversions through our network. I understand that robotophobia is great among people, and not everybody trusts our algorithms, especially because you suspect us to be greedy. So there are bidding rules, which are doing exactly the same, but in manual way. You can say, if CPA is X, then use bid corrected this way. And this will be applied per publisher. So this is manual emulation of what we do on algorithmic level. Just to prove what you can get with the help of our network, here is the example of our good client, Belmarco. Impressive figures, don't miss the opportunity. Expanding inventory in mobile. This is sweet. If in desktop network we have to buy extra publishers, extra spaces on their pages, mobile inventory is growing on itself pretty fast. So that's very sweet. And the main challenge there, again, the quality of traffic, of course. Everybody knows it's less convertible than desktop. And the solution of bid adjustment works for mobile too. It's not only per publisher, but it's per type of traffic, mobile and desktop. So we shall be minimizing your bids according to the conversion probability per publisher, per mobile. It already works. But it's not everything we can do here for solution. Because first of all, I believe that the low conversion rate in mobile is related to imperfect interactivity model, which was just borrowed from desktop. Like you click the link, you go to website, and on mobile it doesn't work. So we have to use new ad formats and new landing formats. And we are developing right now turbo pages, which is something like AMP with Google. We believe that these things will work better in terms of conversion too. The other thing we have to do is proper measurability. We believe that with mobile traffic, offline conversions are crucial to measure. Everybody knows that with desktop, we're missing plus minus 50% of conversions because we do not follow the offline activity of the person. But in mobile, it's even more. At the moment, we have started developing the interface in Yandex Metrica, giving the offline reach measurability based on GPS signal, which is not precise. This is up to 50 meters precision. But you will see, even with this low precision, in A/B test, with people who clicked your ad and who didn't see and click your ad, if you compare these two groups, you will see that there is difference in reach. And that's the only way to use it. You can always use it only as A/B. Otherwise, you will say that everything is due to online advertising, which is not truth. And this is just the beginning, because we believe that this 50 meters precision is not enough. Too much noise and not applicable for shops inside big malls, for example, at all. So we're experimenting with offline conversion measurement with Wi-Fi routers. Why not beacons? Because Bluetooth coverage in Russia is very low at the moment. You cannot get any reliable figures with that, not yet. But if there is Wi-Fi router, it contacts the phone. Even if user is not going to use Wi-Fi, the contact is there, and we can trace the user. And here we get the precision up to 1 meter. So we can tell not only that the user entered the shop, we can tell near what shelf he was standing, ideally. This is pilot thing. This is not industrial. But we think that the future is somewhere there. Video inventory is growing, so we want to use it. We want to use it for performance. I can tell you it's a challenge. No one used it for performance. It was always image advertising. And we are not 100% sure that it does work. But we're experimenting because you know, the involvement of users with their video content in the moment is lower than it used to be. This is used for time killing, when people can be distracted from what they're viewing by the highly relevant video format of performance type. We hope it works this way, because if we manage to do it, we get highly growing inventory and user case and everything. Follow our news. If it works, we shall launch it. You will see it. For those who do not produce video advertising, we have developed a kit making automatically the video format out of your ad. We have a library of video backgrounds, and we can make some animation with the text of your ad going above it, so it works pretty cute. New channels. First of all, targeted communication in loyalty programs. All big clients in retail, in automobile, in banking, in insurance, in travel, they have those loyalty programs, and from time to time they address their clients with messages, and they don't know what to tell them, so they're just trying it blindly. And they're limited in number of approaches. They cannot contact user too often, because then he will think, oh, that's like spam, I'll switch it off. So once in a month they offer something, and they don't know what to offer, because they don't know the interest of users. But we do. So we can develop an instrument for contacting via mail or SMS or whatsoever the participants of loyalty programs of our clients. We shall contact them from within our perimeter without giving information on users outside, but the contact will go on behalf of the client, not on behalf of Yandex. It will be signed that and that client. Well, we offer you this thing, well, because you're interested in it. We had pilot experiments with this way of communication. It improves considerably conversion rate in this channel. And this is totally new channel for us and good opportunity for our clients. The challenge here is high reputation risk for us, obviously, because there will be talk about Yandex selling information. But our answer is, we are not selling information. The information stays with us. We do not give information unless you click on the letter and say, I am interested. Then yeah, well, the client sees you are interested, but that's a win-win situation for you both. The second thing is out-of-home, outdoor and indoor digital panels, because we can measure their audience and do a lot of wonderful things there. Since applications developed by Yandex, and first of all, Yandex Navigator, are in the pockets of the great majority of smartphone users in Russia, we can measure the audience of out-of-door panels. It works like this. We identify the viewability zone. Then we identify cars where the users have our applications. We identify the speed and direction with which they move. Then we obviously fill the gaps and get the audience. Here, with this pilot, it was the easiest way. We had this pedestrian crossing, and cars were standing. It was easy to measure. But that's just for the beginning. Obviously, the distance between the cars is the function of speed and the weather. Under rain, it's longer, and the higher the speed, the distance is longer. So we can measure it in the move also, and I think with the help of these things, we can maximize the opportunity to see and to make it closer to the number of impressions of ad material on the panel. Because if they are changed too fast, the opportunity to see is lower than number of impressions. If they are changing on the panel too slow. The opportunity to see is higher than number of impressions because the cars are standing and these impressions are changing and changing and changing. So at that moment, you can just add more materials instead of repeating the same many times, for example. So you can really control the efficiency of the stand and tune it up to maximize the effect. Here is the case of our real client, Mazda. They bought the panel for 14 days because that was minimum slot which operator was selling. They've got the maximum reach, which was 65% of their targeted audience, within 1 week. And for the second week, they were paying for nothing. They always suspected that, but now they know it for sure. And of course, this opens the possibility of developing the system, running the placement of ad materials for digital panels with a kind of auction. I think on hourly basis, advertisers will be able flexibly run their bids to get the best of their audience at the best possible price. So the rush hours will be more expensive than nighttime, for example. But at nighttime, it will be really not expensive on the other hand. And we can sometimes say that the audience of the panel changes within the run of the day. The social demographic, the interests of the audience, they are changing at rush hour 1, during the second, something other. So this thing work, and this thing work for complicated consistent communication, because then you can reach with performance advertising people who are passing by the outdoor panel. You can connect them with online with performance advertising and see what happens, for example. So it's a new field. It's interesting. And I think that outdoor will be revived if it works. New segments, FMCG Retail. As I said, what we offer them is hyper-local targeting based on radius around their shop. Here is an example. Our FMCG client made A/B test. They were offering discounts, and they were supporting these discounts with online advertising, hyper-local geo-targeted, within 1 kilometer around their shops. On the upper graph, you see how the performance changed in their offline shop. It's not some counter-measured conversions, it's real purchases. So on the upper graph is the conversions, the purchases with the clients supported by advertising, who have seen the advertising, and the lower graph is those who could have seen it, but we didn't show them ads just to keep them as a control group, as B group for this thing. So the difference is obvious. It's working. Now, let's come to branding advertising, which is not that strong with us, but we see a lot of potential there. Main challenges here. I would say number one, and the most unpleasant, is the demand for archaic targetings coming from offline, from television. It's social demographic. It's absolutely bad practice for internet, and I'll tell you how. Second challenge is video inventory. It is growing, and the size there is crucial because, well, I told you about using it for performance, but the main usage of it, of course, for imaging. And it's the highest level of the funnel, so the coverage of the audience is crucial thing there. We have to grow huge coverage. The third challenge there, our network banners are not perceived by clients as programmatic, but they truly are. We have programmatic products well developed. And there is line in the budgets of our clients which says spend for programmatic, and they don't think of Yandex when they are applying, reading this line. Well, let's go further. Social demographics are bad practice. Instead of it, we should offer adjustable segments with measurable post-view and post-click effects. I'll show you. This is the case of our real client, which came with a brief borrowed from TV ad. Target families with kids up to 3 years old. Bingo. The age 18-35. They cut some portion of audience. Then, decisions makers are women, target females. They cut another portion of audience. Then, we measure the effect of our advertising with panels, but panels do not measure mobile traffic in Russia. Then, it should be just desktop, because we cannot measure otherwise. They cut another portion of audience. What they got? 18% of their target audience, potentially relevant to them. 18. What we offer them? The segment of young parents or whoever is interested in anything related to kids up to 3 years old. Because at some point it can be even the friend of the family who is looking for a present. Well, social demographic can work, like I mentioned with the case when the bids were adjusted. You can use it for bid adjustment. But if you cut off the audience according to it, you are losing. You are losing. It's not the instrument for branding and advertising in the internet. Because when you do this brief for TV, you buy some affinity. You still cover all the audience of the program you bought. But the share of the most valuable clients for you there is higher, but you still cover everybody there. In the internet, if you come with this brief, you lose, like in this case, 80% of your audience. Come on, it doesn't work. Another example. It's not about the social demographic, it's about the cross-product and measurability. The banner on the main page of Yandex. Advertiser is a real estate developer selling the new-made apartments. These are the results he got in performance using the banner on the main page of Yandex. So it's pure branding banner, but the result was measurable in performance. And this is, for example, how it worked in terms of new users on his website. So the gray vertical lines are the flights on the main page, and the red graph is the number of new users. You can see the post effect of branding advertising. You can see the maximums during the flights. And here is the most interesting part, because this is the CPA of their advertising on Yandex.Direct, which was supporting the advertising on the main page. They have several goals in the Metrica, and each of the graph relates to some special goal. So the yellow one, for example, is the field lead. And it doesn't have strong post effect. It's strictly related to the period of the flight on main page. But the red line is the sending of field lead to the advertiser. It does have post effect. So people fill, then they think, then they send. It works. And CPA is cheaper when you buy a main page. It works. Video inventory. What do we do to build huge video inventory with Yandex? And actually, we already made a tremendous success there. Our video inventory has grown more than 300% during this year, while total video usage grew something like more than 20%. So we're really fast growing here. First of all, Our ambition is to build our video network with the weight of performance budgets. That's why we're very interested in making a video format working for Yandex.Direct. If it works for our clients, we accumulated enormous budgets in Yandex.Direct, and with these budgets, we can buy video inventory for nearly all players on the market. Well, YouTube will never sell us. Second, we're cutting deals with TV channels for TV online. We're experimenting with adjusting our main page for promoting TV translations online, and we're going to use it for advertising for video. Third, we're winning out of home for our video ads. Of course, supported with measurement tools we're developing now. So it will be kind of packaging offline to online and huge coverage in the end. And then programmatic. We do have it. Try my word, trust my word. We have banners, we have dynamic creative, we have video. We have all kinds of targeting. We hate social demographic, but we do have it. We have thematic segments. We can do customized segments. You can do customized retargeting through Yandex Metrica or through Yandex Audiences. And you can use first party and third party through Yandex Audiences. You can do everything. We do have it. We have open RTB and private deals. Just remember, when you see this line programmatic in your budget, use it with us. And here, just to summarize everything, the main points of growth: ad networks. Please start working with them. It's important. More formats. Please follow whatever news about new formats of advertising we publish, and use it as soon as possible. Whatever we launch in terms of format definitely works. Video and mobile, don't forget about these formats. They're fast growing. And programmatic. That's it. Thank you very much.